You are now listening to the National Show with Gangsterville and McGee. The National Show, the National Show, the National Show, no show, no show. The National Show, the National Show, the National Show, no show, no show.
All right. No Nation, this is the National Show with Gangsterville and McGee. Subscribe to us on YouTube at National. That's NATIONOLE. IG and X, all the links you need in our link tree, which is linktree.com/National Show. That's NATIONOLESHOW. And, like, share, follow, tell a friend to tell a friend. We trying to set a trend and begin again because it's that off-season time, baby. We getting them workouts in. We getting them crunches, them pull-ups, them sit-ups, them sit-downs. So we going to keep you in shape with everything involving Florida State athletics.
I was in Tallahassee.
Word, yeah, I got the picture the other day, man. I was at work and I paused for like a good 5-10 minutes and just like went through like years of memories in my head.
Prompted some recall.
Like I had to blow it up too. I was like, oh man, damn it, man.
Yeah, I sent you a pic of the old crib. The old crib, man.
Yeah,
I went up. I got to hear some like amazing. I hope it's yet to be released, but I'm gonna say unreleased music from Vintage Tux that like blew me away, man. Blew me away. I have I'm not DJing anymore, obviously. I'm retired and staying retired, but Seven Cypher has sort of sucked me back into the music game. And so I have been working with him on a project. I appreciate your contributions, sir. Yeah, it was cool. I went up, I worked with him a little bit. I got to
Oh, you got to see Seven?
Yeah. We went in, we were getting stuff together. We were getting organized, we'll say. We were getting organized.
Yeah. Hit him up, man.
Yeah. Say hi. I'd love to hear from you. And I got to go over. I got to pop in on Merc and he was in the studio working on stuff.
Okay.
Like, it was cool, man. It was really man. I was only in town for a day and a half or whatever, but it was rewarding and wonderful and fantastic, and the music sounded great, man. The music sounded great. So
that's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So Merc was working on some new music too.
Merc is working on the Vintage Tux music. Right? There is I mean, I don't know. I don't want to put out business that I don't know shit. I don't know shit. All I know is I heard really dope unreleased Vintage Tux tracks, and I stress the S in the word tracks. Like I didn't hear like a few songs. Like there's a lot of great music. So I hope the magic starts being shared.
Anytime I hear about anybody from our community back in those days that's still making music to this day, it just warms my heart, man. I'm all about it, bro. So that alone is just excellent news for me, man. Got me. I can't even talk. I'm happy. I can't wait to hear it. That's what's up, man. Good stuff.
It was dope. Yeah. It made me really happy, man. It made me really happy. And like I said, man, it just sounds dope. It sounds so good. It's really great, man. It's really great. So it was fantastic. It was a good time. It's a really great trip. And like I said, thank you to you for your contributions for that project. It's coming along. That project is rolling along. It's gonna be dope.
It's gonna
be dope. Yeah, man. So cool working on music again. So listen, we took a few weeks off. I took my little winter break, right? And then you had to take a week. You had to take a week and recover your own. You had your own little winter break. And then, so we haven't done this in a minute, right? And so obviously, like anybody, we texted yesterday or the day before, whatever it was, and we're like, what are we going to talk about? And we realized like it's a little too soon. It's a little too soon to talk draft, right? Like there's maybe very few Florida State kids this year. Maybe 3 or 4 might get drafted, maybe 5. But right, but we'll talk about all of them, and we'll talk about like where we want to see them, like just like we did last year. We had a lot of fun with it, but it's a little soon. It's a little soon. And I realize that right now, college football has this little lull. NFL has their free agency and then the draft. Like it's crazy time in the NFL offseason. But
it really is this year.
But right now, we're just out of season, right? It's the offseason. It is basketball season. It is golf season, right? It is soccer season. And there are people that went to Florida State. We're not going to talk soccer because I haven't done the research yet. I'm sure there's guys that went to Florida State that are playing professional soccer leagues around the world. But there are athletes who went to Florida State playing professional sports in all of these leagues, right? So I figured what we should do is start highlighting those pro Noles, right? And we should do the pro Nole report. We'll do the pro Nole report, and we'll do it as like a segment. Now, once we get to football season, it'll probably have to either we're gonna have to do 2 shows a week, or it'll be its own standalone or something else because there's so many in the NFL. But for the sports that are in season now, most of the year it's a segment, right? So let's do it. Let's do it for the first time. Let's do it right now, right? Because there are the 2 big ones for Florida State right now. Florida State for pro Noles are basketball and golf, right? Let's talk about the golf first, all right? First and foremost, shout out to my homies Casey Earl Flynn, Brock White, and Corey Collins. Because, yeah, man, you guys are a lot of fun to work with on the BYA Bushwood show, and you do great work, and you consistently make people money, and that is what makes you a good podcaster is if you give out good gambling picks, So, like FSU has, they've produced pro golfers for decades. There's been there was a dude in the 60s who made a run, a cat in the 70s, but like there's another dude, Paul Asinger went to Florida State. There's been a bunch of guys,
really?
But like
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but it's the last few years that like you've really seen 2 big names get produced by Florida State golf, and we're seeing the seeds for the future. All right, Florida State is going to be a golf powerhouse, and you know what? There's not really an excuse not to be, considering it's Florida. You get to play all year. You get to recruit kids in all through, golf playing world of Florida, right? Golf is more popular in Florida than most places. So there really is no excuse not to be good at it, right? But in the last few years, we've seen Brooks Koepka come out. Brooks Koepka and his brother was a pro golfer. Chase was a pro golfer too. But Brooks, Florida State guy, 4-time major championship winner. He has won the PGA Championship twice and the U.S. Open twice. So he is just a stud. He was one of the lead golfers to be a part of the Live Golf Tour when it started. He won the first Live event, if I remember correctly. But this season, he started okay. Right? He went T33, T7, and T35 in his first 3 tournaments on Live this year. But yesterday, shot a 67 on the first round in his T3, going into the second round of Live Singapore today. So we'll see what happens this weekend. Maybe he gets another W. But he is by far the greatest golfer to ever come out of Florida State.
Okay.
For now, I guess it was how we got to say it. But that's a high bar, right? 4-time major championship.
4 times.
Yeah, serious business. The other great pro, active pro right now is Daniel Berger. He's had a fantastic start to this season. He was T2 at the Waste Management Phoenix Open, which is the most fun. That's a Super Bowl weekend. It's when everybody's throwing beers on the golfers from around 16. I mean, it's a big deal in Phoenix every year. In fact, since you're in Arizona, maybe next year we should meet there because it's really a good time. It's every year on Super Bowl weekend. In addition to that T2, he took 12th at the Genesis at Torrey Pines, and just last weekend was T15 at Bay Hill, right up in Orlando at Arnold Palmer Invitational. He's at Sawgrass this weekend, so a lot of golf to play at Sawgrass still. So I haven't even really looked at today yet. But like those guys are great. Those guys are fantastic. Two of the greatest golfers in the world. But there's a kid at Florida State right now. Like the biggest story in Florida State golf world is this kid, Luke Clanton. Have you heard about him?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like you don't really follow golf and you've heard about Luke Clanton. Obviously you're a Florida State guy. So of course news is news, right? But he is just a star. He's just a star.
Yep.
He's a junior at Florida State. He so far this year, he's played in 4 pro tournaments. Right? Yes, he missed 2 cuts, right? Pro golfers miss 2 cuts all the time.
Yeah.
He took T15. He tied for 15th at the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines. And then about 2 weeks ago, took T18 at the Cognizant in Palm Beaches, right up the road. That means he earned his PGA Tour card. It'll kick in right after the NCAA championships. Now, he doesn't get this money that he's won in these tournaments because he wasn't a pro yet, right? He could have gone pro then, I think, and taken the money, but he's choosing to wait till after the championship because he wants to try to win it with his guys, right? Wants to win an FMSU Golf NCAA championship. Really an uphill battle. It's not an easy thing, even with him on the team, even with we have a great team, but like there's a lot of great teams in college golf.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State is the team. They're the it's weird to say, but they're the Alabama of golf, in college sports.
I got it. That's crystal clear, though.
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying, right? Like they're that team. They're always that team. So he is gonna have a big summer. Obviously, he is. I've had a big winter. He's going for it with his guys, and he's gonna likely just go roll right into the pro schedule for the second half of the season. But in a few weeks, he's going to be playing as an amateur at the Masters. And I don't think we're going to get great odds. It might even be a minus number. But I am going to bet him as the low amateur at the Masters, like substantially. I have a lot of faith that he is going to be the low amateur.
Not a bad idea.
He has a professional attitude already. He is focused. He is, there's just a leg up on a lot of the competition. So I'm going to see what the odds are.
$2 just for what the odds. Yeah, let me know what the odds is once you get it figured out.
Yeah, man. So that's the golf part of the Pro Noel report. And then I figured we'd roll into basketball. Okay, we talk a little basketball.
March Madness, heck yeah.
Yeah, so we're not having the best season, but shout out to Leonard Hamilton. Thank you for everything you've done over the decades, right? We appreciate you. And Luke Locks is coming back to town, right? He's a Florida State guy, and recently, I want to say he was with the Kings or the Jazz, one of those 2 teams, as an assistant coach. And he's going to be coming back and into the college game and coming to Florida State. I wish him well. Big shoes to fill for him, But
oh yeah.
Yeah, but Florida State has a great basketball tradition. Right, great basketball tradition.
Yeah, definitely.
Surprising. When I sat down to do this, though,
Leonard Hamilton.
Yes, you're absolutely right. It all started with him. You talk about Charlie Ward and Bobby Sura. Those guys weren't. They were.
In our early days, we was getting mollywop, bro. I remember the first time we beat Wake Forest with Chris Paul out there, bro. And we stormed the court. Yeah. And nowadays, for us to beat a Duke or North Carolina, it's just okay, cool. But back then, that was the season right then.
Have you ever been a part of a court storming?
Yeah.
You did? I did once.
When we beat Chris Paul when he came here.
Oh, you were there. You were in.
Yeah.
I was. We beat one of the years. it might have been right before one of the years when I lived there, right when I moved there, right? 2004, 2005, 2006, something like that. We beat Duke at home when they were really highly ranked.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've never, I see it start to happen. And I'm like, I've never done this before, but I'm doing it right now. Like, it was cool. It was cool. I had a good time. I didn't like go crazy and like run around and like grab anything, but I hopped out there and I walked on the court just to say I did it.
The JJ Redick team?
That was when we beat JJ Redick in oh damn, that's right. In Tallahassee. That was awesome.
Oh man.
God, I'm old. Now not only has he finished college, went pro, had an incredible career. Then got into the media.
Had another career.
Then had a great career in the media and is now the head coach of the Lakers. What the fuck have I done with my life, bro?
Oh man, that says it all right there. Right there.
I just sit around, get high, and talk about motherfuckers play basketball. He actually went out and did it. You know,
he did it, boy. He did it.
Yeah, shout out to JJ. Yeah, way to like internalize that tough loss in Tallahassee and let it fuel you throughout your career. Right? Like you owe all of your success to Florida State. Appreciate you. So when I sat down to do all this, it was really surprising that there were no WNBA players that went to Florida State, and only one that really ever did. Renika Hodges was her name.
Yeah,
she played for LSU and then transferred to Florida State. It's like she wasn't even at Florida State the whole time or anything, but she ended at Florida State, and then she did like 10 years in professional basketball overseas and United States, back and forth, everything. Tough life as a pro female basketball player, as we've seen over the last few years when it's starting to get better, but it's a real tough go of it. Now she is
because we haven't really had too many good women's basketball.
I was thinking about that. We should though.
You think about it, the women's college game has been pretty, in our area at least, dominated by Tennessee and UConn.
Right, but we should get in that game, and South Carolina too now, and South Carolina's real good. Yeah, but we should get in that game, man. That's a cheaper cost of entry NIL wise. Right? Like if you want to go from like not relevant to relevant in football, that's going to cost you $50 million in NIL money, right? In NIL funds, that's per year, right? If you want to go from not relevant to relevant in men's basketball, it's probably going to cost you 15 to 20 million per year now. But I suspect that you splash 8 to 10 million to an NIL funds to the Lady Knowles, or you know what I mean? Like shit, man. They could be in the mix like that player. They could be in the mix, man. I don't know. Let's start fundraising, buddy. We need to start our NIL collective effort,
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, I like that. That's a space we could enter, maybe. But now she is an assistant coach. She got into coaching after she retired. Now she's an assistant coach for the Connecticut Sun. So as far as I'm concerned, and again, I don't like speaking for you, but I'm going to in this instance, okay, buddy? I think that we are now Connecticut Sun fans, and we will remain loyal and supportive of the Connecticut Suns until one of these other WNBA teams open up their eyes and give her a chance as a head coach. Damn it, let's go! Man.
Right, let's go.
So yeah, man, we are now we're sorry we're late to the party, but we're here now, right? Rebecca Hodges, we got your back. We're riding with you. All right, go Suns. All right,
go Suns.
So NBA. Right now, there are 6 NBA players that went to Florida State that are on rosters, and they're all having. There's 6 right now. Damn. They're all playing really well.
Bangers, though. I know it's those 6 bangers.
They're all playing pretty well, man. They're all having good years. Minutes and games played are all close to their normal through the season. Like all these guys are having really good years. So just want to run through all 6 real quick because it's the Pro No Report. So. Few of these guys are going to be done. Unfortunately, a few of these guys are going to be done in a few weeks. They're not all making the playoffs, but right now there's 6 guys going. Right, we got Scotty Barnes. He has been with the Raptors right? He was drafted 4th in the draft in 21, right? He's averaging 20 points a game this season, and he signed his rookie extension. It kicks in after this year. He's going to be getting 40 plus. It is good to be Scotty Barnes. Poor guy's got to pay Canadian taxes, but he can afford it. Okay, so
right,
yeah, good to him. Good for him. You know, he's doing it really.
Yep.
They had a good. He's having a great start to his pro career, but let's talk about the Raptors this season. They're sort of flirting with that play-in game for in the East, right? Like I said, there's only a few more weeks, so we're gonna find out if they're in it or not.
Right.
If they're gonna, whether they have to go through the play-in game or if they get right into the playoffs, if they're gonna do anything this year, he's gonna have to have a really strong end of the season. So
yeah.
It's just how it is. You know, he's a big part of that team. Big part of that team. The Magic. They have Jonathan Isaac. They drafted him in 2017, I think. Ish. Right? Don't quote me. I ain't said shit. He's kind of just like the locker room glue guy, right? He's like a consummate pro. He's like the kind of guy everybody kind of wants to have on their team. You know? The Magic have had a ton of injuries this year. Right. But, you know, Banchero, I think both Wagners have been out. Like they've had a bunch of injuries. They're sitting in 8, so they're, you know, similar to the Raptors. They could be in the play-in game if they don't, you know, get it tight now. I thought they were gonna have a much better season this year, you know, personally.
Yeah. Just injuries, man. You know, it happened into them, and then the Banchero one is the real one.
That's the real one.
He doesn't get nowhere near as much coverage as I feel like he should, man. Because when he is out there, he's putting up mad numbers. He has the killer instinct. He's developed every year in and out. But it's just that small market, I think, there in Orlando, or, you know, maybe they don't want to coverage him versus the Victor Wembanyama's of the league and stuff or whatever. But he's right up there with them all with the baddest.
I think had he stayed healthy this year, he would have gotten a lot of flowers. All right. I think there was a lot of attention to the Magic preseason, right? Everybody was talking about them going into the season. I think there's a lot of national televised games scheduled and stuff like that. I think they would have, you know, this would have been a big year for his brand. You know what I mean? Like his game's there, right? This would have been a big year for his brand. I think it's too bad that the injuries are happening. While we're talking about the Magic, shout out to DJ Manley. That's one of our guys, right? He is one of the in-game DJs for the Magic. He does Magic games, halftime, timeouts, all that stuff. He's DJing at the Magic games. So shout out to Manley. Who else? Terrence Mann. Terrence Mann is now a Hawk. He just got traded by the Clippers, who drafted him probably about the same, maybe a year after Isaac. So 2018, probably 2018. He was a second rounder, and the fact that he's still in the league is awesome. Not a lot of second rounders stick around even this long. So he is now doing his job, which is extend your NBA career as long as possible. Stay on teams, stay on rosters. He's exactly. And the Hawks are presently 7th in the East. If they're going to make any noise at all, he's going to have to, get in sync with his new teammates and be as productive as he's always been when he was in LA. So I like Terrence Mann. If I'm running a basketball team, I'm staying in touch with his agent. Like I want to keep him under contract and on my roster.
I can tell you as a Laker fan, he's always been a problem, man. And he's played with the Clippers that. Hell, they superstars are always hurt, so it's always people like Terrence Mann that has come in to have big games to put the nail in our coffin at times, man. Hell, we went.
That's exactly right, man.
Losing to him, so yeah.
That's how everybody knows about him, is that he's just always right there. He's the one that wasn't getting hurt. Everybody else there was, so he was always out there. Yeah.
Yep.
Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams has been a bull. He's been a bull since 2020. He was also, just like Scotty Barnes, was 4th in the draft. Honestly, like he's a pretty good guard, man. He's a pretty good player. He deserves, it's weird to say this. He just deserves better. the Bulls are bad right now. The Bulls, that organization is a mess. The last 10 years since the Rose injury, it's been a mess that long. That was 15 years now.
Yeah. And even then, it was issues because you think that started from what the coach is doing to this day. He just plays his starters like the majority of the game, and he wears the hell out of their careers, man.
Well, now that guy is in New York. Yeah,
and
Thibodeau.
he's doing the same thing in New York now.
But even since he's gone, the Bulls are still floundering. Like the problem wasn't him. The problem's obviously above him if it's lasting this long, you know. Presently, they're
definitely organizational problems.
Yeah, exactly.
His coaching is what led to Derrick Rose injury because his players always get injured because he's always playing them. Or whatever.
Yeah, he definitely shortened.
Jalen Brunson is hurt right now.
Yeah, he certainly shortened Okum Neum. Okum, how do you pronounce his first name? Noah.
No, Joakim Noah. Yeah,
Joakim Noah. Yeah, he definitely shortened his carear. I always suspected. Which is too bad because I liked his game, even though he went to Florida. I liked his game a lot. I always thought he had a leg up being the son of a professional tennis player. Like he had a whole different kind of ear, voice in his ear than other basketball kids, who grew up with parents who played basketball. I don't know. I was always
but look at it. He grew up with money and still was able to have that same grit and grind that people.
He was hungry.
Came with. So
he was hungry on the court. Yeah, you're right.
As hungry as Haslam. So
you're right. That's an interesting case study. Him versus Haslam is a perfect example where they both had a similar, like, they died for every ball. They had no problems fighting, and they wanted it. They wanted it, but they came from drastically different backgrounds.
Right.
Yeah, so right now, if the season ended today, they'd be in the play-in game. But I suspect they're going to fall out of it too. Like all these these so far, everybody we've talked about has just kind of been flirting with the bottom of the Eastern Conference. But we can. Oh, there's one more actually in the East. There's two guys left. One more in the East. Malik Beasley. That's our guy, dude. That's our guy. He's the longest tenured NBA player that went to Florida State. He was drafted by my Denver Nuggets in 2016. He's played for a handful of teams now, both in the NBA and overseas. He's had to, spend some time in some other leagues. But right now, he's having this resurgent season with the Detroit Pistons. Like nobody really, let's say only a few people really thought the Pistons were going to have a good year. But he's a big part of why he's taken on like an older statesman, like leadership role with a lot of great young talent. And I don't think he's missed a 3-pointer since like November. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but he has just been draining threes in a way that would keep any team in the mix. So the Pistons are dangerous in the playoffs, right? Like they could knock anybody out of the East. They could knock anybody out. Maybe not the Celtics or Cavs. But if I'm anybody else, I'm scared. If I'm the Knicks or the Bucks, I'm a little scared of the Pistons. So that's
I don't know. The Bucks look kind of good, man.
The Bucks do look good, but the Pistons have the size and the youth to compete with them. And they're too young to realize. They're too dumb to realize that they're not supposed to win. You know what I mean? Like they'll go into the playoffs and just fuck around and fucking, win in 6. And everybody's like, what the fuck just happened here? Like that happens sometimes with these young teams they just don't know that they're not playoff ready yet. So they play great, I don't know.
And when you're young, you're healthy more.
That's it.
Like New
you
York's
bounce back.
Jason Brunson right now, so they could be suspects. So it's
in the playoffs, you get the extra day between every game. So like these guys they're going to be firing on all cylinders. But OKC wasn't ready last year. I'm not even sure OKC's ready this year, but that's not the conversation we're having today. But so you're right. Young youth is tough. They went in the playoffs. We have a young team. I think that's where Malik Beasley comes in. He's the veteran voice. He's the one like, yo, I've been here and I fucked this up and I can't believe I'm back and y'all should listen to me. Let's go get this right now. And I don't know. I'm interested to see how the story plays out. I don't
He
think
been
they're
on
gonna.
multiple teams too. I think he was even on the Lakers squad.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's been on a handful of teams. He's moved around a lot. This country hasn't always been as openly accepting of the marijuana smokers in the community. That was, part of the reason he wasn't, able to kind of stick around for a while. That's not an issue anymore. There's no more marijuana testing in the NBA. So
right.
Homie's back.
Boy, imagine if that was it in the early 2000s, man.
Yeah, dude. Think about somebody like Brian Grant, who had Bob Marley tattooed on his arm and would get suspended. And all right, one more.
The whole Blazers team.
Yeah, right. That was my favorite, dude. That was my favorite. They were the best.
Wells and all
they were the best, dude. They were the best. All right, one more, and we're done. Devin Vassell, also in the 2020 draft, just like Patrick Williams, he was 11th in the first round. So that year, we two guys. If you remember, I'm gonna get angry. I wish I didn't just fucking remember this. COVID shutting down basketball may have cost Florida State its only NCAA championship. Like, we were so good that year. We were so good. Two guys in the top 11, good. And everybody was like 6'8". It was amazing. We were going to, I have no doubt that we were going to be in the Final Four. I had a ticket that we were going to win the national championship, and I had a big number because I bet it before the season. I ended up getting refunded, because COVID shut it down. But fuck, man. Like Florida State, that really got robbed. By COVID. So fuck you, COVID.
I'm kind of in the middle though, because that also is the reason why my Lakers won a championship that year.
Yeah.
We played a full 80-something games. Them knees of Anthony Davis would have been done.
Homie, if you had to deal with planes and travel in the playoffs, you wouldn't have won that. You won that because you were on a campus. It worked for you. It worked.
Yeah.
But hey, that doesn't mean I know there's fans of other teams that are going to say, "Oh, that one doesn't count." Fuck them. All right, like that one counts. Everybody else was in that.
One than the other ones, but everyone had the same constricts the same
situation.
Rules, the same situation. That's all.
And as long as everything's fair for both sides of a contest, that's all that matters.
Right.
Be proud of that one too. But the ones from Milwaukee, I don't like that you guys talk, or Minneapolis or whatever. I don't like that you guys we look at all these championships we won when we were the Minneapolis Lakers or whatever. I don't like those.
Yeah, there probably was 8 teams in the league then.
Yeah, right. 8 teams and 4 black guys.
Right.
Total.
Right.
Total.
Yep.
And 3 of them were probably half. Like, it was that bad. Like, it was just bad. It was just
Yep.
All right. The ABA saved basketball. I'll go to my grave saying the ABA saved basketball. That's part of the reason I love the Nuggets. But Devin Vassell's also on one of the teams from the ABA, I think. Weren't the Spurs? I think the Spurs were one of the teams that came over from the ABA when they merged. I think it was like the Spurs, the Nuggets, the Pacers. I don't know who the fourth one is. I think there were 4 teams that came over from the ABA, and I think the Spurs were one, which is just ironic that we're talking about him, and then we got off on the tangent. But Devin Vassell, he's a Spur. He's a great shooting guard. It's kind of a great place for him to be, right? They are a team that's developing as a team.
It was over the Nuggets, the Spurs, the Nets, and the Pacers.
God damn, I'm just full of unnecessary, unneeded
I had to let
info.
You know that you was on point with that.
Although if you had given me 10 guesses, I don't know if I would have got to the Nets. You know why? Because I never fucking think of the Nets. They're the worst fucking franchise right now.
Right.
Yeah, man, Vassell's in a great spot. Wemby, I know Wemby's out for the year, but they're they're not going to be in the playoffs. They're thinking about next year, but he's a part of their plans.
For De'Aaron Fox, didn't they?
Yeah.
From the, Sacramento?
They are building their unit, and he seems to be part of their plans. So Yeah, man, keep hanging out with Wemby. That
Mm-hmm.
do French on Duolingo, bro. Like you'd be
Yep.
stupid not to, man. Just ingratiate yourself to that guy because he's a star.
The only thing is, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think Pop's coming back though.
No,
Popovich.
I don't think Pop's coming back,
Yeah,
bro. I hate to tell it to you. I hate to be the
yeah.
bearer of bad news, but we might never see him in public again. If he
Oh,
might be, sometimes after those strokes, not everybody likes to be seen in the
Right.
way they end up. You know what I mean? If it doesn't, if the rehab's been going on this long, it must have been a really bad stroke. So yeah, shout out to Pop, shout out to the Spurs. You guys have been the model NBA
Yeah,
organization
yeah. The good
over the
thing
last
is
30
the
years.
coaches-
So shout
yeah.
out to the fucking Spurs, man.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah, bro. From the 90s to current, they
Yeah.
have always been relevant. Shout out to Pop. Even if he isn't the coach, he's instilled his system into the players there. I want to say Duncan is
Yeah.
still on the staff, right?
I don't know,
So,
but
yeah,
I bet the practice facility already has his name on it, and the arena will too
Mhm.
someday. So
Oh,
he
yeah.
has
Oh, yeah.
made an incredible impact on that team, on USA basketball, on the
In general.
league, and on the
Mhm.
sport. But he, shout out if everybody was as good of a person as he is, we wouldn't have. We wouldn't have war. Like this world would be like the greatest place ever. He's just an amazing guy. So
Yeah. Heck yeah, bro.
yeah, man. Well, that's the Pro No report. Now I suspect there are soccer players. I'll do some research. I'll find some. Right. Baseball
be a
season's
women's
about right. I'm sure there's a couple. Baseball season's about to start. I bet you there's some baseball players. So I'll build out the database. I'll keep an eye on them. Every week we'll give you a quick little update. Like, pretty soon, Patrick Williams and the Bulls somehow got knocked out of the playoffs. Who saw that coming?
Yep.
Boom, real
Yep.
quick. We'll just kind of fly through it. Come football season's gonna be a little harder because there's I don't know, 40 or 50 guys in the NFL right now.
Yeah. Well, if
So
anything,
that's-
at least follow the ones that are on a successful team.
Yeah, of course.
Or the
Of
teams
course.
that are in the spotlight and stuff. Or whatever.
We went a little
Stop
deeper
all of them.
this time than
Yeah.
we usually would, just because it was the first time, right? And that's
Right.
okay. Now I've already, hey, Daniel Berger had a great weekend, right? But and we're done. We'll keep it moving.
Right.
But we're gonna start. We'll start as a show and as an organization. We're gonna start highlighting and shining on shining these guys, man. They deserve it. They deserve their flowers while they're playing, right?
Heck yeah. Heck
And
yeah.
it's good for recruiting.
Yeah. Heck, good for recruiting. And at the end of the day, they're family, man. It's no nation.
Right. That's right. That's right. It's no nation, and that's why it's national.
Boom. There you go.
Write that down. We should probably keep that line somewhere. We should use that again.
Right.
Word.
Oh, man. What's up? Nice.
We got some guests that we're gonna start bringing on the show, and we got a bunch of off-season stuff we got to get into. There's all kinds of
Draft coming up.
all that ACC stuff that I don't really understand. We need somebody to come explain that to us. We got the draft. We talked about that. We're not having a spring game this year because of the renovations to Doak. So no spring game for Florida State this season. Not like we were traveling
Let's
back.
add that
Don't
as a
look at me.
topic to another show because I don't want.
I mean, it's not like you and I were going to travel back and go to the game or nothing. What do you care,
No, the development of the players, bro. What, like no?
Oh, I
practice, no
suspect
nothing, or
there's
just
still-
no spring game.
I suspect Norvell came up with some sort of alternative workout.
So it's just no spring game and they're practicing, or
Yeah.
it's like
No, they're still doing spring practices and stuff like that.
Okay,
There's just no
okay.
spring game. Just no spring game.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah. Let's be real, dude. The spring game is just an excuse for us to get drunk and for them to ask boosters for money.
Yeah. Just show.
It's just a springtime get together, a little cocktail party in the fucking off season. That's it.
Yeah. I more care about the practicing and the
Right.
reps and the development and stuff or whatever because you see what happened last year. Man.
If anything, I'm happy that there's no spring game, no family coming into town, none of that stuff. Let's keep these
Right.
guys focused on fucking practice.
Right.
Focus
Right.
on getting better. Focus on getting
Yep.
better. Don't worry about who's watching.
Right. I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Good.
Cool. We'll talk more. We'll talk more about what we need out of Florida State football this offseason. It's a lot.
Right.
All right. Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's about
that's it.
that time.
It's about that time. All right. So the National Show is a co-production between Broham and B Yappin'. And you can watch it whenever. It's not every week in the off season, but whenever it's on, you'll be able to watch it if you click that little notifications thing, that little ding, that little bell thing. Every time we go live, you'll know. It works out nicely. So you can check it out on YouTube. It is at National, Nationole. And if you like the show as an audio product instead of a video product, which is ridiculous because we're both very attractive humans, but if you prefer it as an, like maybe you're running around, you're busy, you got to hop on the treadmill, you're working out, you like listening to us. I get that. That makes sense. If you like it as an audio product, check it out. It is available as a podcast on betyourash.com and on the Bet Your Ash feeds on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can find all of our social media links on Linktree. It is /National Show, Nationoleshow. Or you can go to national.com. All the links are there too. So either one of those will get you to wherever you're trying to interact with us. We are all around. Get at us. Also, Gangstaville has a Linktree too. It is /Gangstaville. GAINSTAVILLE. Check him out. All of his music links are there. The most recent album, Last Ride. No, actually, the most recent album is The Desperado Code.
Boom.
It is dope. It came out really nice, man. And then I also heard you have another project coming out.
Yep. Ghetto Gospel. It'll be out soon.
Man, everybody working hard. I feel like I should do more. I don't know if I can, but I feel like I should. All right. Yeah, so listen to Gangstaville's music on every streaming platform that exists. And when you're on, like, that's the best way to support people. You just like it. You listen to it on this platform, like it. The next time you want to listen to the album, listen to it on the next platform, like it there, share that one, etc. So that's how you support your friends that make music. It's a great way to do it. And I think that's it, man. Is there anything else? We got, we're gonna launch our own shop soon with our own merch.
Merch.
We got some stuff going, man. I think I have an email I have to reply to on that front. Maybe you have an email that you have to reply to on that front. Regardless, we're working on it. We're working on it.
Word.
So we're gonna get y'all looking right. We're gonna keep y'all fresh together. Trust. And yeah, man. I think that's it.
Hey. Go Noles.
Go Noles. You beat me to it.
And you have just finished listening to The National Show with Gangsta, Physio, and McGee.